We're going to start with The Nation. Collapsed Lagos building, government to punish offenders. Picture here of NURTW. Lord Oyetola's performance, governor gets endorsement. Government abduct minors in Kwara. Not elders on 2023. Vote competent and honest leaders, they said. Sugar processing attracts 250 billion naira in investments. World Bank asks governments to curb inflation. Gas leakage scare in Lagos. JAM remits 3.51 billion naira as operating surplus and 162 back from Libya. Okay, which story take a look?
We could do Libya.
Okay. Yes, please.
So 162 Nigerians comprising 98 women, 28 men, 24 children, and 12 infants were stranded, who have been stranded in Libya, have been repatriated back home, according to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. The returnees landed at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport and Ikeja, and they were brought back from Tripoli, Libya, by the International Organization for Migration, IOM, through a voluntary repatriation program. So this institution has been involved in repatriating Nigerians who are stranded in other countries, and they have so far since 2017 repatriated 21,000 Nigerians stranded abroad. And so some of them had been taken for testing. They found out that most of them had some health issues already, and I hope that the government will do something about it. Also, 600 Nigerians residing in Kuwait may be stranded soon because most of them have failed to get renew their international passport as a result of COVID-19.
Okay.
And they are appealing for help.
Yes.
Okay, take another story.
About JAM. So JAM has remitted to the coffers of the federal government 3.51 billion naira. And in July, they had also sent back 2 billion naira. This JAM has been doing this for nearly 6 years now, under the administration of Professor Ishak Oloyede. And, he says that this JAM administration says they're doing this really, because of their commitment to probity coupled with the adoption of international best practices. And because of this consistent returning of the surpluses, from the operations, it brought the cost of JAM forms from 5,000 to 3,500. And I'm saying that's about 3 billion naira that we have saved parents and guardians
really
that are used to pay for, that pay for these JAM forms. And so we just need to commend him constantly for that. And I guess when you have monies like that you return to government, wherever any upgrade needs to be made, it will be easy to do it, and fund it with JAM. So
I'll take the sugar processing story. So the Executive Secretary of the National Sugar Development Council, Zak Adedeji, made a statement represented by Mal Hamed Waziri that about 250 billion naira investment has been done into the sugar industry. So there's a framework that has been developed to help Nigeria become self-sustaining and even exporting the sugar as a commodity. It's a 10-year ambitious policy program. 7 years into the program, they've gotten 250 billion naira. And there's even a new injection of cash. There's a new player, Kia Group Africa has acquired a defunct Nigerian sugar company in Kwara State, joining Dangote, BUA, and flour mills and they've generated lots of jobs. There's even a new policy signed by flour mills with Nasarawa State, which is going to generate about, according to them, it's about 20,000 would be engaged to drive the company, which will bring employment to people within Nasarawa State. So this is a successful policy that has been running for 7 years now, and is one that should be applauded. And we need to replicate this in many other industries within Nigeria.
So the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji-Fashola, was defending his 2022 budget yesterday at the National Assembly to the House Committee on Works in Abuja, and he said quite a lot of things, but I think I just picked out about 2 things that stuck out for me, which was the fact that the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road is scheduled for completion in 2022, and at the moment they have actually done about 90 kilometers of the section, and the second Niger Bridge is completed also in 2022, and it's also on schedule, and the contractors tell them that the bridges will be fully connected by the end of 2022. So he's saying eventually that by the end of the first quarter of next year, you can work on it from the beginning to the end. I'd like to hold him on that. Let's move on to the next paper, which is The Punch. Ikoyi building, death toll rises as Lagos probes collapse, owner pastor missing. Abiodun gives OAU record-setting medical students house and 5 billion naira scholarship. Ekiti woman jailed for 10 years for assaulting pregnant neighbor and forcing labor. Uni Abuja invaders demand 300 million naira for abducted professors and family members. Robbers fail to find money in Kwara community machete residents and rape minors. Army roadblocks return. Terrorist kidnappers lay siege to FCT. An NBA petitions commission panel over Malami magistrates' rules in Odili's home raid. Okay, which story, major headline?
Major headline, yes. So the death toll in the 21-story building that collapsed on Monday on Gerrard Road in Ikoyi area of Lagos State has risen to 21. We already know the story. Now, some family members are searching for their loved ones. They said they had gone to the mortuaries, but they were not allowed access to their loved ones. Some people, there's a man who was looking for his 18-year-old son. He said he had to come all the way from Abuja, and yet nobody has attended to him. Another man said 10 of his workers, they've been looking for them. So far, all the people they brought out, they've only seen 2 bodies. They are still awaiting about 8. Somebody else said that he had brought in more workers, about 21 of them, into that building, and so far he has not seen any of them. And he has gone to the hospitals, he has gone to the mortuaries. They are not letting them, check to be sure, if it's their people that are in there.
We didn't discuss if there was insurance on this place, because usually any construction work, there is a construction insurance for those that are working there.
In addition to the report, I was going to take what the governor, because the governor was there again yesterday. I think it was the second time or third time going there. And he was saying that in addition to the fact that he set up a high-powered committee and it's given him 30 days to come up with a report, he's also going to sign an executive order to give them a legal backing, all right, so to investigate and provide what exactly happened. And I think there was a few things he wanted them to determine. In terms of reference, according to him, says that whether there was full compliance with the physical planning and building material laws of the state, to determine whether there was any supervisory or oversight lapse on the part of the regulatory authorities, and the panel is to determine the number of casualties and fatalities, to examine other matter incidental to the situation. So they have 30 days, and we just hope that indeed they are independent, no external influences, and they indeed will get some kind of report.
He also said he was going to request for the list of all buildings that are above 5 floors, so that they can carry out integrity testing in those buildings.
So let me quickly take the army story. So the Nigerian army is back on the road, mounting roadblocks in conjunction with police officers around Abuja, entering Abuja and exiting the Abuja boundaries. This is following up on the attack. 300 million has been demanded for ransom from the University of Abuja, that were the people that were kidnapped at the University of Abuja on Tuesday. Also, 3 days before then, there was another kidnapping that took place in Kwali area local council, a junior secondary school, where the vice principal of the junior secondary school was kidnapped. And consequence to that is that we now have more roadblocks on the roads to sort of prevent, and there are several attacks around Abuja Kefi roads, all those roadblocks. Yes, so the roadblocks now should prevent it, but there is a lot of traffic congestion. People are complaining about the difficulty of traffic congestion, but I hope they understand the reason for this.
There's also congestion in Iron Island with this
Gerrard yesterday.
I don't understand. They said they're just cordoning off every corner. I don't
know about every corner, but you just know that when you're going through that Park View area, of course it will cause traffic, and then the other side will cause traffic.
But it spilled over to everywhere else within the island.
It's Lagos.
There's
Lagos now.
Everything trickles down.
Let's take them with the human interest story.
Yes, I've got that. I have 2, so I will take the Ekiti woman. So an Ekiti woman has been sentenced to 10 years imprisonment for assaulting a pregnant neighbor. The story is that this neighbor noticed this woman and her son beating her child, and she tried to intervene, and then this Ekiti woman pushes her and she falls, and led to her immediate delivery via surgery in a hospital. And so, this happened in 2019. They went to court, and then she's been sent to 10 years imprisonment or 70, and been given a 70,000 naira option of fine. And the judge is saying that this she did this particularly to send a message to other people. So we need to be careful, you know, how we
70,000 naira fine.
How we solve issues, you know. We don't always go with anger. And imagine an 8-month pregnant woman just pushed like that.
70,000
there's one more story. Yeah, so robbers went into a community in Nuku village. This is in Kwara State. And they said that when they got in there and they did not find any money, they were further incensed and angry. So they took machetes at these people. 2 of the community members, the head of the community, Hassan Woro, and his brother were macheted. And then they said 2 little girls were raped by these people. Well, thankfully, the girls have been released back into the community, and these 2 are in hospital. And of course, the security operatives said they're investigating and following up to find this.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find buildings above 5 floors under construction for integrity test, says governor. Picture of the young doctor flanked by her parents. You see, this is a moment every parent wants, you know? So on the left, the father of the best graduating medical student of Obafemi Awolowo University, Venerable Olukayode Adesina. The laureate herself, Dr. Joy Oyinlola Adesina. The governor, and then Mrs. Kikelomo Adesina during the presentation of the House. So every parent wants an opportunity to be flanked by the governor, you know, present something to your daughter or child or son.
This is beautiful.
Okay, Anambra poll, INEC abolishes incident form to use biometric voter accreditation system. Oyo APC crisis, Buni meets stakeholders today. Invasion of Odili's home, Nigeria under siege, says Afenifere. Ranching, 328 billion naira return on livestock should entice northern governors, says Tamboa. And there's a special report how post-harvest losses, bad roads, others engender food insecurity in Nigeria. Okay.
So food insecurity.
Okay, in the north. Okay.
We're facing major challenges with food insecurity, despite the fact that we've had federal. So this is actually a special report, and it highlights the challenges that is causing and will increase food insecurity in Nigeria. One key one is insecurity. So there are many states, Oyo, Akpabio, Edo local government. The Tribune has been able to confirm that these areas haven't been able to farm because of insecurity. They said there's the challenges with Boko Haram and insurgency and kidnapping. Current data shows that current data does not show the exact number of people affected, but a lot of farmlands have been destroyed and a lot of people have been unable to farm their land, and this insecurity is part of what is adding to our lack of food. There's climate change. Many of our farmers rely on rain-fed agriculture, which isn't, it is not sustainable, but it's now worse because we don't even have like the standard seasons that we should have, where you know where to plant because there's rain. It's no longer, we can't follow it because of climate change. Then the federal government has put in the Anchor Borrower program, which seems to be successful, but many of them are not able to pay back because a lot of challenges are affecting them too. I'm praying that when we have these reports, the government actually looks at these reports and not see it as an attack on their policy, but think of more creative ways to solve our problem because we can't afford to import food.
Yes, so the governor of Sokoto State recently at an event on Monday has said that just from this cattle trade and just from Lagos State alone, the North earns about 328 billion naira just from Lagos State. And so he's saying that this should show, you know, northern governors and leaders that this is something that can, ranching is something that can be adopted and a lot of money can be made from it. And he says this is also in move with the realization of one of their founding fathers of Sokoto Caliphate, Sultan Bello. He had, you know, long advocated for the fact that nomads don't need to constantly keep wandering, you know, all the time to sell their cattle, but that they should tend to but settle in urban areas where they can still rear their livestock and live in a congregation that allows them to pursue other things. So this is not only something that has been pushed from a long time ago, and this is something that will benefit them, you know, monetarily, and also help in the fight against this banditry and criminality that is widespread in the North.
I'm excited about their number poll because, I mean, the INEC has said they've abolished the incident form and they'll be using the biometric voter accreditation system. Now, that sounds, according to them, was piloted first, I think, is by-elections in Delta State back in September 11, 2021. And this weekend it's going to be used again. So according to them, no voter without a genuine PVC will vote. No voter who has not been successfully accredited by the BVAS, they call it Biometric Voter Accreditation System, will vote. At the same time, the BVAS is also equipped with the capacity to snap polling unit level results and upload same to the INEC results portal. I mean, so, and
we're looking forward to it.
We'll see how that works, because Nigerians always know how to ways to go around it. But I'm really, really excited about this development, where we hope that indeed that Nigerians will see that we'll have a free and fair election, so that once they trust in the electoral process,
lots of
more will participate in future.
I want to take one more story.
Oh, sure.
The young lady, Jo Oyinlola.
I thought you took that story already.
No, I haven't taken the story. Yeah, so the governor of Ogun State is giving her 5 million naira.
Amazing.
For also giving her a house. So she was the best graduating student of medical sciences from OAU.
I wanted you to
they applaud this for the two of them.
They said she has... She got 10 distinction, and then she got almost all the awards that you can get from that faculty.
Every possible.
So they're so proud of her. And I'm happy that the Ogun State governor is doing this. So, you know, we need to put attention to where we want our young people to focus on. So well done, Ogun State, and well done to Miss Joy.
Miss Joy and the governor were clapping for both of you.
Something came to my mind, but let me not say it on TV.
Why?
The governor was respecting himself. You know how he just, because mommy and daddy are there, respect yourself, holding with, you know. Okay, Daily Sun. Red alert in Abuja. Lagos building collapse, we talked about that earlier. Northern elders reject special trial for Nnamdi Kanu. Government killed 2 policemen in Rivers. Anambra, U.S. threatens visa ban on election violence sponsors. Okay?
Yeah, so as the governorship election will be holding on Saturday in Anambra State, the United States are saying that they will not hesitate to consider consequences, including visa restrictions to those found to be responsible for election-related violence or undermining the democratic process of the state. They also said that they're going to be observing this election from start to finish, and if anyone is found culpable in not allowing them to have a free and fair election in Anambra State, they would even extend the visa restrictions to their family members as well. So they are hoping that electoral officials, party members, security force personnel will do their best in ensuring a credible and secure electoral process in Anambra State.
Okay, moving on.
So the EFCC, absence of an EFCC council has prevented the continuous trial of the Izani. So they're trying her for the money laundering. We found a lot of things that just seems absurd. But the Sun is carrying it, that the report from the news agency of Nigeria that the court case was supposed to be yesterday. It was supposed to show up, but there was no counsel from the EFCC side. And I was trying to read, okay, did the EFCC
give a reason?
Any reason for this? That the matter was adjourned simply because there was no counsel. And I feel that this case has dragged for so long, and we really need to have proper conviction. There's also the case of extraditing her back to Nigeria, and that one is a different case being handled by another court in Calabar that they should probably resolve. But even the one based on what we have, we can get a conviction without her being here. You know, maybe when we get a conviction, we can now use the conviction to bring her back, that she should have this court case here. We tend to get justice faster when they are being tried in other countries than when most of these people with allegations of corruption are being tried here.
Okay, The Guardian. There's this major headline I wanted you to take. I'm not sure if you have that story.
I'm not sure.
Government to blame for outrageous freight charges by foreign firms. UPU to prune Guba aspirants in Delta and Central to... Africa loses 8.8 trillion naira yearly to 94% importation of pharmaceutical medicinal needs. And ICPC DSS arrests 48 lecturers, security officers, others over exam leakage. Okay, so final paper is this day. INEC will ensure only eligible voters determine next Anambra governor. And Insecurity Nigeria has never had it this bad, says Afeni Ferry. Arise Fashion Week heads to Dubai World Expo. Okay, I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, we look into the top stories of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.